You are now listening to Empty Out the Clip.
Good and welcome to another episode of Empty Out the Clip. It's your boy Leti holding it down for producer Cams. I'm joined by two of the WesWes Network's finest, the Butcher Eddie and also Kaiser. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey,
Yo, my usos.
Yeah, Cams is a bit tied up with some family business holding it down on the barbecue, but we'll get into our shoutouts to start with you, Eddie.
Shout out to Westside Boxing Crew, my Liston brothers, my Ainga. And I want to make a special shout out to columnist from the WesWes Network. He's got a gaming channel on TikTok, Hyper Tyrannita. So shout out to happy birthday to my boy Sepiri. Lofaku uso, and hope you have a good one, eh? Seki, those are my shout outs.
Shout out to the man Sam Henry out in Perth. It's been a while, haven't heard from you for a while, brother. Yeah, touch base. Shout out to you and the family. Bad boy Sam Henry out in Perth. Next shout out to Dickie Pereira. Lofus to you and the family, brother. Let's tee up soon. And to the Toko Sydney, to you and the family, brother. Lofatus to you out there in New South Wales. Thinking of you as well. So, it's always good chatting with you weekly. Yeah, so don't forget, brothers, those shout-outs, man. Don't forget to comment down below, man. Get the updates right here, sports, all the hot gossip right here, WesWes Networks. Get it done, lad. Get it done. Also, finally, shout-out, happy Easter to the viewers. And let's not forget Lord Jesus Christ, who provided for us, who provides those blessings weekly and daily for us to use. And in remembrance, Lord Jesus Christ died for our sins. And so the ultimate sacrifice, our Savior, our salvation. Happy Easter. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Let's get it done. That's me.
Sick uso. Nice.
Well, my shout-outs list is a massive list. First one's to my niece, Anisha Maji over in Sydney. Hope you enjoyed your dinner the other night, darling. Sorry I haven't been able to get a hold of you. Another shout-outs to my sister-in-law, Katrina Terry, whose birthday is today. Hope you enjoyed the Easter hunt and dinner late last night with the fans in Melbourne. Another shout-outs to my dokos Brendan and Tindo Manukia, holding it close to my chest with the Viber chats. I miss you guys. I want to get back on track and maybe get some more steps in while we can, boys, while we have our energy, all in God's timing. And then my last shout-outs to my niece Oksana, who's finally on maternity leave. So she's hung up the boots and the uniform till she has her baba. I pray that you're looking after yourself, darling, and not stressing out at this time. Yeah, looking forward to our next video chat. So that's all our shout-outs. So you can catch us on the weswesnet.com or find our Facebook page, Empty Out the Clip. Answer the few questions and one of the many security will let you in. On there you can post up any content that you want the boys to share. That gives us pretty much 90% of the content that we share upon this platform. So thanks for joining us today, Usos. We'll get into how's the week been. Start off with you, Kaiser. How's your week been, bro? You've been Miss MIA for a minute.
Yeah, probably scared away from all those people just coming up to me. But I've been just fighting a bug, just fasting and trying to stay on that health journey as well, especially with nutrition. But other than that, been good. Still hustling, and just trying to spend more time with my daughter, trying to do those little girly things, you know what I mean? It's hard being a dad and then trying to focus on what your little daughter wants to do, as in girly stuff, right? Other than that, man, it's been blissful, man. It's been good. Still tracking, still trotting it on, boys. How about you, boys? How's things with you guys?
Man, my week's been busy, bro. Just working long hours. Easter's a big money maker for our company, so just putting in some extra hours. I even came in on Good Friday, did a half day with one of the bosses, just sorting out all the stuff. But apart from that, man, just trying to avoid this weather. Man, just having a look at my gutters, they're getting overflown with all this water. So I got to check that once we get any clear weather coming up. So might have to chuck the ladder up, and me and the brother-in-law might go check them. But nah, just been feeling a little bit weak lately because of this weather, so haven't been boxing with the also PJ and Alex and Louis. So just been working, come home, trying to rest up. But yeah, nah, man, just been the usual week. Yeah, haven't really been watching much. Just kind of chilling. So nah, yeah. Hopefully next week's more of a calm week for me. So looking forward to that. How about you, lady?
Oh man, my week's been pretty busy. I think since I'm working for my money now, so it's a bit different there. You know, you get to having a real excuse to malo law during the day and that. So now it's been awesome. Yeah, special shout outs to Nixon and Nate and Dazza for showing us some love on the podcast the other day. It's good to get, I suppose, get feedback from guys who's been in the industry for a while. But also to Dazza, who just, he makes me look forward to retirement, you know what I mean? Like, you get guys that come in and talk life and talk about, like, stuff that they now do as a source of income or they now do to fill in time. That void of, you know, being, like, no one telling you what to do so you can do it on your own terms sort of thing. So, I really appreciate the conversations I have with those Dazza. Yeah, bro, nothing exciting apart from today. Shout outs to my wife and my mother-in-law for putting on my son's first Easter egg hunt. So my wife's family is real big on Easter egg hunts, man. I've seen like 2 pregnant ladies. I remember when my wife was school and my sister-in-law, man. And I remember one of the aunties come over to try and hold the door, like, you know, while we're hiding the Easter eggs, bro. And I've never seen ladies rage over chocolate, man. Especially pregnant ones, man. Sorry. I was like, fefe for the auntie, like, sorry, man, like, I've never seen the sister-in-law whose birthday it is today get so upset, like, from being held back, you know? It's like, it's only a game. Like, that's that literally, like, it's only for like more games, man. But yeah, because of the Easter eggs, you know? So, yeah, back in the day, my mother-in-law used to put, like, recharge cards and, like, $20 notes, you know, as well for the eggs and that.
Wow.
So, shout out to my sister Fafa over in Melbourne and the Olsen men, bro. 950 eggs a warrior. 950 eggs, like, and that was like apparently between like maybe I think it was like 11 kids or 12 kids. So yeah, shout outs to them for putting it on, man. Like I gotta laugh because like you know how big the kids are now. It's like oh surely that's probably kind of like one of the kids is probably like the oldest probably be like 18. Can sweep and pick up as many eggs, you know. So that's mean unfair advantage on the babies, you know. So I can only imagine how that would have been yesterday. But just watching my 2 daughters, my 2 older girls, it's funny because my autistic son, he got second picks and my baba got picked and my wife helped him grab like a few eggs and he got his big Kinder Surprise egg. And then I could just hear the 2 girls pisa downstairs trying to fight each other, come up the stairs. So it was like a good 5 minutes before they actually came through and they were like, where you egg? It was like before they even started looking for the eggs, but my son was just running past like so many eggs. I was like, oh wait. But nah, shout out to my mother-in-law, man, for always making that a tradition in our close-knit family. But nah, yeah, nothing exciting, man, apart from today and jumping on here. But yeah, that's been my week. So we'll get into it, boys. The passing of a kid last week. A kid Kian, he passed away during a what would be like a tonsils removal surgery. What was that? Do you want to share that, Kaiser, with us? That yarn.
Yeah, just one of the boys. I haven't really looked deeply into it, but one of the boys sent it to me, so I thought it would be a good share because it's every surgery is a risk, right? Every surgery is a risk. So apparently they're under investigation. I don't know what the investigation is actually for, but pretty sad, you know. All of us and and our sorrows go out to this 6-year-old boy's parents. Yeah, it's not easy losing a kid that's only spent 66 years on this earth. So yeah, it will be interesting to know how this came across. Something about bleeding, and they couldn't stop the bleeding. I mean, I don't want to assume, but just on the little read-ups that we have here, sad. I mean, we all got kids, right? And at the end of the day, you want to know that they're in the best hands because from what I know, just a little bit of research with we have some of the best surgeons in the country here in New Zealand. We should be grateful, and we have the best one of the best medical supports here as well. So compared to other countries. So yeah, very tragic. And like I said, much love to the family and what they're going through. It's these sort of things are not going to be easily forgotten, right? So yeah, yeah. What about you guys? What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to the family. For losing this young child. Every surgery has a risk factor. Whereas where it could be you're resistant to the anesthesia, or something happens with blood pressure or whatnot. But the main message reading through this was parents and patients might be rattled or scared about getting your kids' tonsils out with this news. But Health New Zealand says that complications such as these, it is a tragic outcome, and they can and do occur despite the best of care. But fortunately, this complication of this magnitude, quote, is very rare. Yeah, it's just when you take your child in for any checkup, any surgery, any medication, just make sure you follow up. Just keep an eye on them, because most of the risks comes after surgery, just with your child. So yeah, the doctor's quote saying, "We extend our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences to the family for the loss of the child, but we do stress that this is a small occurrence with I think 1 to 5% risk factor." Yeah, again, I just want to stress out, don't be too worried about the surgery. Just make sure you keep an eye on your child post surgery. Is what the message is. But yeah, how about you, Let?
Yeah, no, my heart goes out to the family. What a devastating way to sort of start the year and leading into Easter. And the fact that the lady has a 4-year-old child as well, I think, man, you're not promised tomorrow, you guess, and when these sort of things happen, I think just accepting the fact that you've lost a child, on top of that, trying to deal with the whys, and wanting to know all these opening questions about what could have possibly gone wrong. We're not like in a third world country, you see. And the fact that this happened in a Southern Cross health facility it's sort of alarming, you know what I mean? Because even though we are like high care and health system and surgeries like that in New Zealand, yeah, we are clean in that, we are sanitary and all that. But have the surgeons dropped the ball? Has there been an issue? Because there's sort of nothing coming out there, but they have sort of said in the news that there will be an open investigation into the possible causes and why, because that's the least the board of health, the health board can deliver to this family, man. Because like if they were mechanics and a routine oil check went wrong, when there's only like the oil and the filter and what could possibly go wrong, you would want to know what went wrong, if there was even a reason what could have happened. And just for them to be discharged and then for Baba to be coughing up blood the way the article had wrote, it's sort of like, man, how alarming, how alarming and sad. But your boys are right, man. Like, you don't wish that on anyone, but yeah, just that aftercare is real crucial, and maybe had they have been discharged too early, we only just asking questions here, but man, that's such a devastating way to lose a child. Present thoughts with his family. But yeah, it goes to show, man, like, the health sector is under the pump. But I mean, for a routine surgery such as this, I don't think we should have expected a implication like this. So now, yeah, I'll throw some prayers out to the family. Our second topic here is probably good news for the American Samoa villagers, I guess. Donald Trump lifts the fishing restrictions finally in Pango when many presidents before him decided it wasn't a good idea, which makes no flipping sense to me. But yeah, we'll start off with you, Eddie. What are your thoughts about the good news, I guess?
Yeah, there's a lot of mixed reaction. Because they call it the Pacific Islands Heritage Marine National Monument, which is like our version of like dockland, conservation. So they've lifted it up, and I was kind of looking at both sides for this one. The pros, it's a lot of economic support for local Samoans, and they basically have the right to do what they want on their own waters. Food security for Samoa, because of these restrictions, it'll probably lifted. Sorry, with these restrictions lifted, it'll probably mean that Samoans can rely on their own food sources instead of going and buying stuff that's imported to the island. They can compete against foreign fishery boats, so now they can give good rates on selling fish to local market, possibly getting good income. So because you got Chinese and Indonesian fleets that do circulate in the area. So it is good for the local villagers. The cons: how much are they going to fish out of of these waters? Does it affect the ecosystems and the environment and the biodiversity of the reefs and whatnot? We've seen how bad it is in some other island nations where they have overfished. So there's a little bit of a risk factor. Also, the cons is the US president making it legal to lift these restrictions, because the marine national monuments are quite hard for a president to dismantle. He's got to go through a certain process, but he just signed an executive order. So he's kind of just cut right through the bureaucracy and just gone straight, yep, lifted. So those are the pros and cons. My own opinion on it is the locals know. The locals know what they want. If they push for it, it's nothing for me to say upon it. The locals are all for it. They want it for them, and we have to trust. We have to trust the Macais. We have to trust the chiefs to regulate the fishing around it. I just hope. My biggest fear is that now that they've lifted restrictions, I hope mainland America doesn't send like a fishing fleet over and just take it all for themselves. That's the biggest risk. It's got to be for the locals. It's got to be for the local Samoans. So there's a bit of mixed reaction online as well. But for me, I trust in the locals. I trust in the chiefs. If they wanted this, I'm all for it, and hopefully they know how to conserve and they know how to keep the biodiversity of the coral reefs intact and provide for their families. So for me, it's good news for the locals, but it's just how they implement it is the risk factor. How about you, Kaiser?
Well said also. I mean, I pretty much 100% agree with what you say. I think it was like a year ago, because you got countries as far as not just China, but Philippines as well, Indonesia, that are coming that far to fish, their quota in our waters too. So, and by saying that Philippines fishing boat is still capsized in Apia Harbour. It's still there today. Oh. It's still there today, but that's from trying to catch their quota out in our waters, as well as far as American Samoa. But then they, on the way back, they stopped off Apia Samoa, and they basically ran on the reef. So that boat's still stuck. It's still on the reef in Apia Harbour. So apparently now they're trying to dismantle it bit by bit, because of the environment, right? And not wanting to pollute the harbour. But I just thought it was a good article. But interesting enough, I was thinking, oh shit, lifting the restrictions around American Samoan waters. Yeah, good for the villagers, good for the locals, good for our people. But at the same time, Donald Trump at the White House, right, when they went there to lift those sanctions up, I mean, the Ulafala looks good on him, like I was saying. But at the end of the day, they should have also gave him a full bullpen of ink and make it like 1,000-year sort of, restriction. You know what I mean? Lock it in play rather than just giving, our bees or a little bit of our culture and that. Man, come on, do a little bit something more risky, more, because that's the only time you could produce it or, have the opportunity to be in this face. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, how about, the pen is more powerful than the sword, right? So, Give him the pen, man, to lock something down, man. Just be like the typical Samoan. Be risky, be charming at the same time. Oh, here's a full ballpoint pen, brand new. Lock something down, 1,000 years, plus, That's our lands, At the end of the day, Melanesia, Micronesia, Polynesia, we're the caretakers of the Pacific, right? We're the caretakers of the Pacific. So we need to protect that even more. So they need to lock that down, in my opinion. Yeah. What about yours?
Oh man, to be honest, I didn't try to dive too deep into it. Like Eddie mentioned, those people who have wanted this to be signed, they know the water, they know what's good for their nu'u and that part of that territory of America. So for them to be in the White House and actually speaking on behalf to the news reporters, I probably got 10 minutes into the video before I realized it's like, Donald Trump could know little to nothing about what's happening. But what I could hear in the way, the urgency and the answering of the questions was, it doesn't make sense for us to go there more than 200 kilometers to go fish for us. And we live in the Pacific. Like, that sounds stupid. It reminds me of Moana, right? When all that Kai Moana was, so they had to go break waters. And so Moana had to leave. So that's what I was getting from these people. It's like, why are we having to go so far just to drop nets? This is in our backyard. So I think I applaud that. Maybe and in my mind, it's like, bro, are they even American fishermen? Because you don't see them in American Samoa, but you will see them on other boats. In every boat in Alaska, there's always a Samoan on a boat.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to just do it in Pangapango or in America and Samoa, it's like brilliant. I hope that they do the deadliest catch and they turn it into a TV show, like the way Trump has had all these small little cameras following everything that he's doing, and they get to make a good go of it. But like you mentioned, Kaiser, something that's gonna last the next few presidents at least, not just all right to the next election and the next term and then it's gone, because be hard to see, because bro, everybody will be like, oh man, I want to be the new greenhorn on this fisher boat, so it's awesome to hear. I think, just as long as we can stop those big Asian ones coming to the Pacific like they always done in Tokelau for many years, man. Just say they're passing by and really they're dropping their net, dragging it, freaking grabbing everything out of the ocean, so I hope they put a stop to sort of that shit, by seeing those American vessels or those ones with American Samoa flags on the side of the boat, stopping the, the Asians coming down here to overfish. So like Eddie said, man.
Yeah. I wonder if it will reopen the tuna factories, because didn't they go from 3 factories to 1?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. If it means that, if, say, for example, Sea Lords had a factory in Pangapango and they all of a sudden, well, we can't have a factory here manufacturing cans if we don't have fishermen out on the water. I mean, that's going to open up their door to a lot of people who have sea legs to want to go out and fish, The last thing you want to hear is about these guys from Mangere who just jumped on a plane and went over to Pangapango to get some fisherman jobs, because, that's not what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can keep it all in American Samoans going out, be green on the water and become fishermen, well, let them do it, man. I'm open to it, So, good on them.
This might be for another video, but we'll just open up the conversation of possibly making American Samoa a state and finally making American Samoans citizens instead of nationals, even though the majority of them will serve in the US military.
Yeah.
Majority of them. Shark says that we got the highest population of Polynesians serving in the military.
Per capita.
Per capita.
Per percentage after that is Filipinos.
Yeah.
Samoans and Filipinos, the biggest serving numbers in the U.S. military. But it's funny you say that. I don't think American Samoa wants to go sort of independent. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give a full sharp ballpoint pen full of ink at that time, right? They give the Olafala, give him a pen too to sign all those deeds. You know what I mean? It's been well overdue. I mean, that's American territory, but it still belongs to Samoa at the end of the day. That's history. You know what I mean? That's history. Not only that, the tuna, that's a high percentage. The tuna exportations that come out from the area, American Samoa, from our end of the Pacific to America and I think Canada as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of that, part of Alaska as well. Yeah, so big ups. There's another topic in its own, guys?
100. Was anything else on that, boys? No. Sweet. We got a post sent in from Ty over in Melbourne about the signing of Reiko Ioane to is it an English club? Leinster, on a sabbatical.
Leicester, I think
Is it in
Ireland.
Ireland? Over in Ireland. Sorry. So yeah, I know Ty put it up on the page, wanted to know our 5 cents about it. Anyone want to go first?
No, I haven't really looked into that one, but I've seen little highlights on it. But one of the Barrett brothers already over there, right? So he'll fit in well. Once they mix in there, it's a good combination already. Yeah, he'll do well. He'll do good on him. Good on him. More money for him at the end of the day towards, playing footy offshores.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, because with the whole beef thing from the World Cup, hey, it was always the Irish fans versus the All Black fans, with Sexton and all that. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird move. I thought he would have gone Japan, especially with his brother being over there as well. Yeah, it's got to be controversy. I reckon the fans will probably hate him for a while, when he goes over, but we'll see what happens. I'm all for it. As rugby players, there's a small window of opportunity that they can earn money, and having these sabbaticals allows All Black players to go overseas, earn their cash, and come back and still be available for World Cups. So I'm all for wherever they go. I just, it's just, is the beef over? Seki.
Well, I think Ty made it clear. The way Geordie's going at the moment over there, I think they're getting a half-done Riku. But then again, he could be wrong. I think Ty was sort of comparing to the Blues form, which is Reiko Ioane's form playing Super Rugby. So here's my 5 cents on it, right? Like, in the NRL, they chuck money at potential, like how potentially good the guy could be. But with rugby, it's a bit different, eh? With rugby, it's like, if you get a super contract from an NPC contract, that's a step up. So if you're an All Black from Super Rugby, that's definitely, you're worth 100K plus. And for every season you played, you'd probably be an extra couple of 100,000 on top of it. So if he worth the buy, I still wouldn't buy him, eh? Like, because I think, like, chemistry, like, is he going to get along with the guys that he's spoken shat about and he shat on, like, during the Rugby World Cup? Would he benefit from it? I don't think he will. Like, it's a different atmosphere, it's a different weather, it's I don't know, like, I don't think it suits his game. But then these are all the things that he can prove us wrong by doing it, by going over there to seek a different, sort of view of the game. And because it's sabbatical, like, is he even going to be worth picking as an All Black after that? Not that I'm an All Blacks fan, and not that I give a shit, but I'm just saying, if this guy goes ever, he's obviously chasing the buck. He could have gone to Japan and played a faster game, but I think maybe from hearing from the number of guys who are over in Japan coming back and saying that the game is faster, well, maybe Rico's just looked at it, oh shit, I'd rather go play crash ball and go stand on the wing, and like, I'm not going to be in the midfield, so I won't be doing the tackles, but, he can probably fit himself into playing some lazy rugby over there, so I guess that's the $1 million question, whether he actually makes a good go of it, eh?
Actually, will they put him on the wing? Will they put him on the wing?
Yeah. I'm assuming so, like, because Leinster's got a pretty solid midfield, and I don't think they got any guys leaving. So,
Damn.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, but like Leti was saying, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Was Eddie was saying, or Leti? Window to make money, right? It's no different from the Lockyer Growling, Lockyer West Tigers. It's no different. If their window, the only difference is the age. Lockyer is what? He's 18, 19. opportunity, to renegotiate, because you still got a long career and you just started. But opportunities to make money, do what's best for you at the end of the day, for your future, to lock down security,
100.
and just pray to God that you don't get an injury, because that's the contract stopper.
Well, that's how I was worried. Like when that French club purchased Julian Savia, and he went over, and he wasn't up to their standards.
Oh yeah.
And they just mocked the hell out of him, and it was hard to watch, because like French people, bro, they just got no respect when they say shit about people. I was glad. Julian. I was glad Julian Savia came back and played back for the Hurricanes and did Moana. So just see how it goes.
No, sweet. Moving on, boys. I don't know if you saw, but there's a new poster and seems to be a new post and a new poster, and I think we shared it on Empty Out the Clip maybe a month ago about the actual chances of SPW and Gallen finally putting pen to paper and running it straight at each other. I'm gonna check it a bit for you guys, man, and be honest, like no holds back, because that's how we do it on Empty Out the Clip. But start with you, Kaiser. What do you think about this fight, and is it even with the time of day?
That's a good question, Yeah, I caught that one just a day ago, actually. Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Man, they should just leave it for the young ones, They should just leave it for the young ones, man. I mean, it's a money grab fight, of course. It's a money grab fight. They're having these two big names, but they're on old warhorse legs now, man. I mean, Sharks, they're open for serious injuries. But I heard that Sonny Bill, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that Sonny Bill just wants to fight Gallen just on 2-minute rounds, right? 10 rounds, 2-minute rounds. And then Gallen's turned around and said that he's not going to pussy out on just fighting for 2-minute rounds. He wants to make some money out of it, make it 3-minute rounds, go the full Monty on the 10 rounds, 3 minutes. So I think they're just negotiating on that at the moment to see whether Sonny Bill is up for those 3-minute rounds. 10 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Yeah, good on Gallen. It'll be a good fight, entertaining. Man, I'll buy a ticket to watch that one for sure. Probably since Mark exposed the Usos' chin, Sonny Bill. Man, good luck, Sonny, man. Because I think Paul Gallen, man, he's got the punch. He's got a decent punch on him, man. If he catches you, man, you're done. What do you guys think?
Nice, Wolves. What about you, Eddie? Give us your in-depth bias.
I don't like Gallen, Sorry. I really
say it.
Yeah, I don't mind him when he played for the Sharks, but when he played for New South Wales, I hate that guy. Like, just his mouth, bro. Especially when it comes like with the latest controversies about Pacific Island. He seems like that just Aussie hater, bro. Like, straight up.
We're good.
Yeah, I don't know if Sonny Bills has got a chin, bro. I think he's got a bit of a glass jaw, and if Gallen can get in, I say if this fight happens, I'll probably lean towards Gallen. And I don't like Gallen, so that says a lot. But Gallen's the more experienced fighter. Sonny Bill Williams, 10 fights, 9 wins, 1 loss. Gallen, 18 fights, 15 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. So experience is definitely leaning into Gallen's side, and it all depends on camp, who's got who in camp. And with the whole social media people calling each other out for boxing matches and stuff, I'd rather put the influencers as the main card and this fight as the undercard. So it does seem like a bit of a cash grab, because it's kind of come out of left field, because they had their beef and then it went quiet. And then like nothing was heard of it beef, and then all of a sudden you see the video of Paul Gallen signing some paper and saying, here you go, wait for you, Sonny Bill to sign a paper, let's get it done, But that was a terrible Aussie accent. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That's bang on, man. That's bang on.
Also, I'm gonna say it with my chest, bro. Fuck it, 100%. Paul Gallen's a guy, bro. Honestly, and shout outs to the Hollywood husbands, bro. Because ever since Barry Hall and Sonny Bill got it on, and then he made the video about putting the kids to sleep, getting his snacks, went to Audi, got comfortable. he coloured the chips. He looked up on the screen and Barry Hall was knocked out. Mate, I'm hoping Sonny Bill fucking knocks this guy out, eh? I'm hoping. Like, for the first time, like, I'm a vote for SPW in this one, and I'm gonna say, Sole, get one of those neck braces, put the weights on the front, and go like this, and then do it the other way. Lie down, chest, chin to chest, bro. Yeah, heaps of bubblegum, chew heaps of bubblegum moves. No, bro, I hope, because this is a beef that's been going on and on for some time now, right? And because Barry Hall was obviously, that was like, I'm sure it was a charity fight, but then it ended up being a legit fight. And I don't think anyone saw the result of like Gallen and Hall ending the way it did, like in a draw. So the fact that Sonny Bill, when they picked out Barry Hall's name, was like, I want to give it this guy, because then if I beat this dude, it's gonna show that I'm a better fighter than Paul Gallen. And because Paul Gallen did the rounds with Mark when Mark was his heaviest, well, clearly that's like, okay, sweet. That gave the green light for Sonny Bill to be like, yeah, look, I'm gonna call out Mark because Gallen went the rounds with him, and that's what happened. Everyone remembers what happened to Mark in SPW, right? So for this to actually finally take place, this is what the heavyweight division should be doing. Usyk is running from Joe Parker right now. So this is the fight everyone wants to see. So in my eyes, all the sportsmen who have gone like rugby league players become boxers, I'd rather see this than see SPW versus like another ex-league player who's turned pro fight. You know what I mean? So I hope it's a crowd pleaser. But yeah, just imagine that, all the influencers as the main card and these guys be the undercard. That's what I'm talking about right there, bro. That would be like the money. And Hollywood husbands alongside with the Jeff Tafawan, that to be the MCs on there.
Oh, wow, yo.
That would be the Let's Make It Rain card over there. Man, that'll
Put
be
the WesWes boys as a host for calling up.
Not the with ring girls.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll just do this. We'll just be like,
hey.
So when that guy punched you on the eye, why is your eye like this? Can you tell us why? I think if it happens, it'll be a closure, a bit of closure for all the people who are sick of those two. Because I'll be honest, bro, I actually miss hearing Sonny Bill's voice on the league panels, like as a sideline interviewer. I don't know if he does it in rugby for any of the channels in Australia, but it's actually like it's quite refreshing to hear him speak when it comes to rugby league. So hopefully that guy he gets his wish, bro. Because I just want him to hurry up and fight, eh?
Mind you, it'll be a big draw card for the undercard, regardless, right? Having those two names, and the event built around those two names. Just bro. Regardless, up and coming talent in New Zealand and Australia or wherever,
even if
on
they
their
were
undercard.
Yeah, even if they were on an undercard of like a Tim Zhu fight or even an Opataya fight,
Most definitely,
bro. The Australians can put it on, man. They got the caliber of fighters to do it.
That's a good combo right there. Yeah.
Like to make them a main event. Maybe not, but if they were on the undercard, you'd want to fight. That's a bonus.
Even having on the undercard, JT and Spitzer.
Oh, yo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm talking about, eh? Stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Just give Spencer the sabbatical to have a 2-game stand down so he can train to fight Jonathan Thurston, bro. I'm there, bro. I'm there.
That guy would just run from the ring to the center.
But then again, this is where your influencers challenge could come true, Kaiser. If those two just do the run a straight challenge, hey, Paul Gallen and Sonny Bill, see, game over. It's done with, And, you'd have to take both of those titles, bro.
Damn, Sonny Bill would be favorite for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Yeah. We'll get into our weekend wrap of sports. You guys catching the footy over the weekend. Start with you, Eddie. Tell us your bets.
So you're breaking up
the games.
Okay, I'll touch on the first game. So I didn't watch a lot of rugby over the weekend, but I did watch an amazing thing happen. I saw the fullback from the Broncos. He massaged his ligaments in his leg, and he carried on playing the rest of the game. He kicked the last minute overtime. kicked it dead, eh? And what happened after that? It was
Kicked it dead, and then bloody Metcalf walked up to the tee and just slotted probably one of the best kicks he's did all game, because he missed all the other ones before that.
wow.
I don't know why Walsh was kicking when Renault's been doing it most of the time. Just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can give your flowers for Walshy for carrying on, but man, in certain situations, you just gotta look after the body and maybe come off, because he was costing us some ground in some crucial moments. Even though he scored the try. Man, some of the bunker calls were just out the gate, man. Just crazy. Warriors did deserve that win. It should have been a bit of a lead, actually, because, they were missing their kicks. But, no. Shout out to my Broncos, man. To play in that wet weather against a Warriors team that was missing some key players, and, we just didn't adapt to the wet conditions. Also, shout out to my Blues. Also, we lost in the same fashion. Scrum penalty. But, I'm loving the fight back from the Blues. Yeah. And thank you, Warriors, for destroying my multi guys, man. Yeah. What about you, boys?
Did you guys catch any sport over the weekend?
Nah, to be honest, I didn't catch any sport. Just a little bit of views on the highlights on there. But what's the table looking like now? Bulldogs on top, Storms,
Bulldogs
Raiders
on top.
Warriors, Broncos behind the Warriors where they're supposed to be.
Round seven. Two more from the Magic round, and the Bulldogs are still on top. So I don't think anyone predicted that, eh?
Nah, no one.
And we were writing them off 3 rounds ago.
There's still a few teams that they need to play for them to solidify that they're the real deal. But, man, Crichton, his second year, bro, as captain. Wow. Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, second.
Oh, man.
Moving on.
But actually, just touching up on there when you mentioned Crichton, leading the lads of the Bulldogs, and then you got what's the other guy's name for West Tigers?
Luai.
Luai, yeah, leading West Tigers in it, but then Penrith just taking that just that huge adversity with their losses this year. It just goes to show away how much of an impact and a culture that they left behind, and then they've taken with them, to lead other teams. Hey, man, big kudos to the boys too. Man, they're just going to get better and better, those teams, with the leadership.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, guys? Like, I've seen maybe three videos, but I think one that stood out for me was maybe one of the Australian ones, and it was talking about, have we overlooked Luai's his contribution to the Penrith team, and clearly, clearly when he had his stand downs during the season, or like from injury, and then we've obviously everybody seen it's not Luai, it's actually Cleary. But now that he's actually gone, you can see they're 5 on the trot, that they've lost. Do you reckon that his influence is a key playmaker and like a voice in the team? Because I know that the Fisher Harris leaving, and then Luai leaving. I mean, that's a lot of guys to try and fill that void after losing, a front rower and then a half. What are you guys' thoughts about it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I wouldn't say they overlooked it, because, in my opinion, with every team, there has to be a combination, whether it's whether it's a 3 combination, 2 combination, or 5 combination. Man, that Penrith team had magic. They had a number of combinations there, but that's the key word there. To actually, when they move on, to actually pass that combination on to the up and comers is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah,
that's all character. That's all character. Character is built from a lot of adversity, and I think the up and coming players, whether they have their own story, their own makings of a character, to actually fill in that gap and make that combination click, is a whole different story. that's what makes, in my opinion, makes winners. Last teams become first teams, become finalists, semi-finalists, and then just take out the whole comp and then make it repeat. So I think it's not just based on that one individual. You take how many of them out, like you just mentioned. Man, that's a big blow for a combination, eh? Yeah. What's your thoughts, guys?
I look at Penrith like a Jenga stack, and every season you're taking pieces out, and the question is always asked: how many more pieces can you take out before it crumbles down? And the 4 years each year they've lost a player here, lost a player there, and I feel like the development of their up and comings is not matching the rate of experienced players leaving. You know what I mean? It's quite a sharp turnover. But I saw someone put up a photo the other night, and these are players like from 1 to 17. So this is the full team of players that have left the Panthers: Yonge, Truva, Naden, Crichton, May, Burton, Luai, Fisher Harris, Coruscant, Lenu, Kikau, Capewell, Hopgood. On the bench, Cogger, Alice, Hoskin, Salmon. Have a look at all those names and see how those names are doing in all the other clubs.
Yeah.
Crazy. But
And
the thing is, there's not many up-and-coming dudes that have taken the spots because they're still in development. They still need more time to develop them. But once you start taking pieces out of the Jenga puzzle that are crucial to the structural integrity of the whole thing, cracks are going to happen. I think Luai was a big piece, taking him out, because everybody knows that the halves are the ones that guide the team. So all their players that they've lost before have never been from the halves. Now you've taken a half out. It's a struggle. Talangi's not it. Maybe not at the moment. He needs more time, to get in there. So it's come to a tipping point. But the thing is, you say that about Penrith and they can still make the final. That performance against the Roosters still shows that they still got it. So you can't really count them out. I think the last 4 years they've left a psychological scar on every team, because when you played against the Panthers, it was like, fuck, here we go. You know what I mean? So we'll see how this year goes. Like I said, time will tell.
Oh, well said, bro. No, you're right, man. Considering the guys that have left, who are in other teams, and how many of those teams that those boys sit in the top 8, that's a good reflection of how well the regime that they've got done at Penrith is working. For example, for the Bulldogs, even though they might not have them all starting, and maybe this weekend might be their first time, by having Kikau, Crichton and Burton all in that starting lineup was bro, that's obviously, a sixth of the team they would have started back in the day. So, and even with the boys at the Tigers as well, and they've only just lost a couple of games that were just shy of their winning result. But it goes to show, man. That was a good example. Is the jingle piece, when you got a few of those players, and before it's only time, but that's gonna sort of show the cracks in the team's outfit. But I hope that those guys don't end up in the news for doing stupid stuff, being out at Penrith because of the losing streak that they're on at the moment. But time will tell, man. It'll be interesting to see how many of those boys at the Panthers end up playing rep football for New South Wales. So you watch the space.
Cam just put up a message. WrestleMania, Jey Uso won the title.
Oh, yo. Anyone want to touch on that? You guys follow the wrestling?
Bits and pieces. But I haven't been watching WrestleMania.
I reckon that's what The Rock's doing, eh?
Yeah.
But mind you, the script had started maybe 2 years ago, because Jey Uso was the one who left the Usos. He's the one who tries to sort of turn on the bloodline. It was always Roman Reigns and the bloodline, and he was always the outcast. So, man, what a whirlwind, eh?
Especially
The
reignited a
spoiler
lot of
alert, the spoiler,
fans.
not the spoiler alert.
Oh, it's only-
Oh, that's choice, man. I think it was because he refused to value his hair black, eh? Come on, see. So my mum will be happy that that guy's got his breakthrough.
Yo.
He was a massive Bloodline fan, eh? Sweet as moving on. I don't know if you guys seen this TikTok from the Calibar, and it's exposing how cheap things are to manufacture in China.
Oh, yo.
Are you able to share that video?
Empty on the clip, eh?
A lot of people have said like what the terrorists has done, like exposing the costs of things. But I titled this as a post that it was bound to happen, right? It just reminds me of the same people, the cancel culture people who refuse to wear Nikes or refuse to wear AS color because it's their sweat workshops, right? Because they popole about the pay gap and how much these people are getting paid to manufacture our stuff. But this video here is obviously, I thought it was AI generated, but it's clearly this one dude just on TikTok just sharing.
Yo, you see it?
I was gonna sound do, but yeah, we'll get our opinions on this, man. So, what do you think about seeing all that stuff like come out from China? Like, obviously, TikTok's got their own. In China, is obviously what's monitored, but it's obviously made all the manufacturers over there be able to post stuff like this. Get your thoughts on it, Kaiser.
Yeah, I mean, whether the terrorists have made them expose that today, and just coming on social media and just letting it be known. I think, to be honest, it's always been happening. It always has happened, for decades on that part of the world. For those that know, but obviously on the Western world, they probably know, or they don't know, or refuse to know. But there's a difference between luxury and quality, right? Right? There's a difference between luxury and quality. Yeah, what I mean is, it's either you're gonna buy luxury, it's either you're gonna buy quality. But as soon as you put a brand on it, that's where the cash is, right? You can make quality, you can make luxury, and then as soon as you put the brand on it, that's the money maker right there. So obviously on that side of the world, they know how to hustle. Regardless, if anything, probably what they make is probably even more better quality than where it actually comes from, to be honest, because they're so good at it these days. They're so good at forging stuff these days, whether it be Nike, Adidas, from shoes to bags to fashion clothes, even to phones. I heard a rumor that an iPhone that's been made on that side of the world, some people say that it's going to cost like $300 to make an iPhone 16, and then yet they're saying that, it costs less than that. It actually costs $10 to make it, to make and develop and program an iPhone, and then sell it for the top price on the Western world, all around the world, globally. That's what I hear, but I think it's bullshit. It doesn't cost $10 to make an iPhone, right? Or produce or process an iPhone. I think it costs more than that. But that's what I'm saying. They're so good at it that they actually mastered it, whether it's art or fashion or, like I said, quality or luxury. As soon as you put the brand name on it, boom, that's cash money. Around the world, that's cash money. What's your thoughts, guys?
Yeah. For me, yeah. There's a risk to buying these products, even though they don't have the actual stitching of the label, they're still counterfeit products. But with a lot of these big industries like Prada, Louis Vuitton and stuff, when they do sign these contracts out and source out manufacture of these goods, there has to be, I think sometimes they have ethical contracts where people have to be paid a minimum wage, work certain hours, stuff like that. But see, with the tariffs and whatnot, has those contracts been scrapped? Are they demanding workers to make it and pump it online in the middle market, saying that it is these products? So yeah, there's all these issues surrounding it. But yeah, you're right. These brands, it's the money. But yeah, I just hope that, there's safety and quality controls with these products. even though they don't have the branding? Do the factories still have safe conditions, and whatnot? But yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell with this one as well. Because with the tariffs and whatnot, and with these ethical contracts in question, are the local Chinese people being exploited by pushing these things out there? Oh, just got an emergency alert for West Auckland, man. Met Services issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Auckland. Most affected areas are predicted to be Auckland, Waitakere, Rodney, Albany, and Franklin. The warning is valid until 7:15 p.m. tonight. As storms approach, you should take shelter, avoid sheltering under trees, get back to land if indoors or on water, move cars under cover or away from trees, and be ready to slow down or stop if driving.
Extremely has a
Sig.
Take care, fams. Nice. Nah, I agree 100% with both of you, man. I think, it's been happening forever. I guess it becomes an ethical thing when it comes to outsourcing all the work that those high-end labels do, I guess. But, I think, like I've read in a couple of comments, man, you can't have it both ways, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that is the full extent of power from the tariffs happening in America, but I mean, that's one way and one point of view to sort of understand what those people in China would be experiencing, know that they've got to pay more to ship their stuff over there, eh? So,
But it's not just in China. It's like you go to Philippines and that, Thailand and all that. In the Philippines, they got a market there 4 stories high. You know, just all that stuff. When you go there, it's got all these labels there. You know what I mean? It's just like, for us, you know, coming from our side of the world, it's like, oh shit, you know. And it's all like basically next to nothing, you know, with their currency. You know what I mean? With rubies and pesos, you know.
yeah.
And then when you go there, it's like, oh shit, is this true? You know. And then you see all these photos. They got a whole floor of just technology stuff, you know. It's like Apple's what is it? It's laptop books or whatever, Apple laptop books or whatever. Just prices you would never. You would only dream of, but prices you would never see on this side of the world. And then there's a little alarm bell there saying, "Oh shit, is this copy or is this bullshit?" And when you talk to them, they're selling it like it's legit. Either way, man, I'm happy. I'm shopping. You know what I mean? I'll grab my whole stock, a whole box, and then come back. Yeah, come back to NZ and then sell it for like fucking top dollar. But that's the hustle, right?
Yeah.
That's the hustle. They've done it so many times that they've mastered it. And like I said, you go to Asia, man, you got these markets full of it, eh? And who's going to complain? I'm not going to complain. I'm just a poor kid from the village of Samoa.
Yo.
You know what I mean? Let's go, you know?
Nice.
But let us know, the viewers too. What would you do if you're in their situation too? You're going to shopping in Asia, man. You're going to complain or buy a whole stock, bring it back, sell it for top dollar, you know?
Absolutely.
That's living. That's survival. Where we come from anyway, lads, you know? So, yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. This car's bringing out his true colors.
See, we're heading to our comments corner. You got anything for us, Eddie?
Yo, comments corner for empty out the clip. Just a couple. 9 sends his shoutouts. Wizard Okalangi, man, this guy's a staunch Auckland Blues supporter. I love it, man, because I was flauntering whether to stay with Blues or jump on the Moana bandwagon. So shout out to Wizard Okalangi for that one.
Just a little.
TikTok, a guy called Jay Mason. He was asking for our thoughts on maybe having a Moana women's team introduced into the competition. So that's the question for the Comments Corner.
Give us a couple of weeks, bro, and we'll put together our best Moana Pacifica team available. Yeah, bro, we'll get it done easy, bro. There's so many talented Pacifica women playing that could easily play for the heritage, man. Easily.
Man, that just opens up the tournament for female 42, eh?
100%.
If you were to have that team in there.
Yeah.
Now that it's been said, it sucks, man. You heard it right here first. WesWes Networks, boys.
Because, man, you could even take a local woman from Samoa and Tonga, you know, like a combine, and bring them into New Zealand and give them that professional pathway through the Moana Pacifica program. Yeah, so shout out for Jay Mason for that question from TikTok. Seki boys, that's it from Comments Corner.
Charles. We're getting to what you've been watching. Start with you, Kaiser.
Yeah, what I've been watching. Shucks, I had a list over here. Yeah, what I've been watching is that Unforgiving on that old school movie. I think it was brought out in 97 or 98. Yeah, Unforgiving. Clint Eastwood. Yeah,
Ooh.
Gene Hackman. Morgan Freeman. Wow, I
Damn.
like watching those old school movies, because the storylines is like, it's like gets serious, and then there's a bit of a twist in the middle, and then a bit of a twist at the end. So it's got those big names in that movie, man. It's well watched, worth watching. So it goes. It's based off the Wild West days, right? And this town they call it Unforgiving. Why? Because you got a bunch of cowboys there that just make up their own rules, including the sheriff. The sheriff he controls the mayor. It's his law, really. It's his law. So when outsiders come into the town, there's a sign there saying, "Oh, you gotta check in all your 6-shooters, all your firearms at the sheriff's office, right?" And then you had a few of them that come in and they missed out the sign, or they didn't do it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the local areas would find out, our local towns outside of that town, there's an incident that happened with a prostitute where she got cut up. Her face got cut up and all this because she made a joke about the cowboy just having a little pee-pee, and he didn't like it. So he pulled out his blades and then started cutting her up. Anyway, the news got out of that town. They tried to keep that news inside the town, but the news got out of that town. So then there was a bounty on that cowboy that did that to the prostitute. So you had a few guys that were farmers, so they needed money. So they needed that money. So then they picked up the job to go out there into this town and deal to this cowboy. It wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of action, a lot of gunfights, and a lot of one of the 3 guys that came from out of town, who was Clint Eastwood, who played that character. Long story short, he was a farmer. He's known as a farmer, but he's got a history. And because of what happened to him and his friends, by taking their job, they brought out the beast in him. They brought out his past, which I won't give that away. If you watch it, it's a good ending. So it brought out the best of, the worst of that guy. Everybody knew him as a farmer, but there was more to him from his past. So good watch on that one. Good watch. And the other one is I'm watching now at the moment. I'll watch it tonight. Is Shooting for the Stars, LeBron James. I don't know if you guys watched that one, but LeBron James, the school that he played for, they made nationals.
Oh yes, I've seen that one. I won't spoil that one, but it's worth a watch, bro.
Nice. So in the middle of watching that. What about you guys?
Oh man, there's a Netflix cartoon series called Devil May Cry. I think it's based off the game that came out ages ago. The story's pretty good. Animation's pretty sick. But man, shout out to Netflix and their money, because they had the rights to Evanescence, Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Rage Against the Machine, Power Glove, Crazy Town. There's some other ones as well. Rob Zombie. Like, they had all the tracks, eh? Like, I just watched them mainly for the tracks, and it was just buzzy ass. But I remember my older brother was playing the game. I never jammed the game, so I don't know how accurate the series is compared to the game lore. But no, it was a good watch, eh? Apart from that, haven't been watching much really. Just on YouTube watching ghost videos and whatnot. But I think one of the movies I did watch, I started from the halfway mark, but I've seen it ages ago, was that Shawshank Redemption, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a good film, eh?
Yeah. I think the family were already halfway through, so I jumped in and just sat down and started watching it. What a good movie. It's long, but the pacing's perfect. I think if you try to rush that movie, it just wouldn't have come off rewarding. But it's a really good movie.
Who stars in that one?
Morgan Freeman.
and
Oh, yeah.
Balangi dude, I forgot his name.
That's the one in prison, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few bunch of dudes, but I forgot the main actor, but yeah. Bitch, just look it up. The cast of Shawshank Redemption, but yeah. No, what a great movie. But yeah, that's all I've been watching, boys. How about you, Let's?
Oh man, I jumped on Netflix the other day and I was watching with my youngest at high school, and we were watching Foreman, the movie. There's actual Foreman film about his life, and bro, what a beautiful story, bro. And kind of fight, just what happened to him and why he jumped back in the ring at the age of 43. Like, you know, and it's the untold stuff, you know. But no, yeah, apparently he had because like he did juvie, he did juvie as a I think as an 18-year-old, and I remember sharing like he didn't really have a amateur career. Like he literally just did a bit of sparring and YMCA sparring, like which were never actual tournament fights. And then he went to the Olympic Games, you know, and then everything after that was like literally like a movie. And like this actual film, bro, like it showed that he made a best mate inside, like the juvie, and he let him become his accountant, bro. And this, you know, you can imagine what happened that caused George Foreman to jump back in the ring. You know what I mean? The mismanagement of funds and stuff like that. But bro, it's a beautiful story, man, and it's it's acted by a young actor of and I don't think I've ever seen him on anything else. But there's probably only one known face in that movie that's probably I don't even know his actual acting name. But yeah, he appears in a lot of black movies.
What a career.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
But he becomes George Foreman's trainer. And he trains him even when George Foreman walked away at the age of 28, bro. Can you imagine being, you know, the 2 or 3 sanctions champion and just hanging it up, just become a pastor? So George eventually bought a church and he became the pastor at his church. But then, yeah, when all the money had dried up, he jumped back in the ring. It unfolds because I remember vividly his fights when he jumps in the ring. I think at 43 to fight George, who's it, Evander Holyfield. And then when Evander actually lost the Riddick Bowe part 2, and then he fights Michael Moore, and Michael Moore wins his WBA title. And then that was the bout that George was like, man, I might as well have a crack in it.
Yeah. What was the year that he fought Michael Moore?
I think it was 94.
94. That's when he became world champion again, right? At the age of 43 or 44?
44, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
by saying that, and was that 94? 94?
Yeah, I think it's 94.
So 94, and then George Foreman knocked him out, right? And became at his age, became the new heavyweight world champion, right? Made history, right? But then in, I think it was 2001 or 2002, yeah, a young David Toa, brother, knocks out Michael Moore on the first round.
Yeah.
Years later. But the reason I'm touching up with that, because that's how much of Dave, he had a taste of that old school generation. He was part of that history, man. Just that trickle through of generation to generation. And they're coming up with this Samoan kid that takes out Michael Moore in the early 2000s. Man.
But they've always had that punch power, eh? They've always had that punch power because Lou Duva was Evander Holyfield's trainer, and Lou was the one who saw Dave at the Olympic Games, and he said to him, you know, because he never got a contract, and he was like, what am I going to tell my mum? Like, because, you know, he was supposed to go to the Olympic Games and pick up a contract. Because I've heard Dave talk about it on a couple of podcasts. But then when he said he got the opportunity to go train just as a training, like a sparring partner for Evander Holyfield, like, that was the writing on the wall, bro. Like, bro, you're destined to be a world heavyweight champ, man. So, like, yeah. Well, even just for him to get a taste of it, like, even Evander, like, there's videos of it on YouTube now. But, like, they would never have shown that back in the day because, bro, this is a young kid, literally a year out of the Olympic Games. He's like taking punches from the heavyweight champ, and it's like nothing to him, you know. So yeah, Dave held his own, bro. Respectively, you know.
Man. Legend, man. That's another chat on its own, eh? But going back to George Foreman, man, how you said how you went through all those adversities, you know, from as a young'un, you know, to even becoming as amateur, Olympics, and then going pro. But a lot of adversity from there, and then getting ripped off from his buddy in juvie, being his accountant, all his money gone, and then having him to come back to professional boxing, and then doing that upset with Michael Moore,
Yeah,
just to fund, I believe it was to fund his
the YMCA, the gym.
yeah, his YMCA gym, George
Yeah.
Foreman YMCA gym for the youth,
Yeah.
because that's where his heart was, to give back to the community. But then that gadget, by saying that, he didn't need to fight anymore because he had a good thing going. He was also doing commercials just for some extra coin.
Yeah.
But
The
then by
barbecue
saying
sauces and all that stuff.
yeah, but by saying that led him up to the biggest, probably coin maker, the biggest hustle that he could ever do, which was that George Foreman grill that he brought out. But the thing about that George Foreman grill, it's a story on its own too. And like I say, George Foreman from a youngin, going through all those adversities and then coming to the end, you know, to that blessing, man. They bought him out. The company that he was with, and he was partnered with, right? He was making like, I think, $3 million a month or $5 million a month. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they had to buy him out because that George Foreman grill was going global.
Yeah.
Man, they bought him out $300 million, and that was him. Set, check, and done. That was a checkmate on the board already.
Yeah.
So man,
You gotta
God
watch the
bless him
movie,
and
man.
rest in peace.
You gotta watch the movie,
Yeah.
But I mean, that was the initiative and the drive behind getting the fight done, and then also keeping the lights on at that gym because he had the gym and he couldn't afford to pay the power bill, so
pay the
he
power
decided
bill,
to jump back in the ring. But yeah, I've been watching that, and I've been watching Clay Wong. Was it Clay Wong? So, bro, he's like a car enthusiast, right? And like I remember I shared on linked out the clip about how he was doing up the cheapest HSV Holden, and he ended up finding the R8, which is like I think it's like a 2011 Holden, the last of its before it's manufactured in Australia, or the last of the manufactured cars in Australia. So he got this done up, and he had a few sponsors do the interior, but he'd never actually unraveled it to the public. So he put on like a car meet, man. Like remember he did the one here on New Year's, and that took off. He got banned for coming back, so he decided to do something over in Oz, which was cool, man. Because 6 months beforehand, he was just like a visitor, like there at the burnouts in the drag strip, and he got a few influencers. So he took Australia's top 100 influencers, asked them, "Can you come and we'll do like a shared gig here? I'll do some awards like the cleanest car, nicest interior, sickest stance, and all that stuff. Fastest car on the tarmac, best burnout." So he thought he'd just have a stab at it and see what happens. Bro, so many people showed up and showed him so much love that, bro, he had the racetrack, even like the grandstands and the burnout pad, as well as the car park, where people would just park their cars up like a car show.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's just crazy, you know what I mean? It's like when you see a guy like that dream after being, like, you know, told not to come to New Zealand, like, bro, that shows like if you got a dream, bro, you can chase it, right? And so and it's crazy because all the YouTube guys that I've watched that comes to car enthusiasts, they were all there, bro. Like they were literally showing up in their rides, like just to park up, show him some love, you know. And it was the first clay world that he's ever put on, and it was a success. Like it's just pretty cool to watch it, like through his eyes, and like, you know, how much work goes into it, how many shake hands and photos you gotta do just to, you know, show love to the community. But nah, that was a mean video, watching that, and then just my use. Finally caught up on some cooking with Verna. I know her and her husband got their own channel now, so now it's watching how Chef's been back on his recovery after being on the dialysis and stuff. That's what I've been watching. Nothing exciting apart from the George Foreman movie.
They need to make a movie about the tour, man.
Yo, hard,
Make a movie about the tour, man. Just make sure Sam Situ doesn't play the tour, man. Oh, no.
Sweet as. Eddie, are you able to play a couple of videos for us?
Yep.
For Fia Poko of the week.
Yep.
So one here is the Sydney trains are way better. And I had to laugh, man, because if you've ever been to a Sydney train, they've actually got a upstairs and a downstairs. But it's the way the bro gets asked to come sit next to the uso, and it just cracked me up, because if you know the humor that these guys show each other, it's just bro, that's very Poko. Oh, not that I don't want to see your face ones.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a pretty smart little gadget that you can do on the trains, if you don't want to look at your brother-in-law. Yeah, get that shit out of my face. The next one's it's little cows, and this is the point of view when you try and do a good deed. So a guy comes across like what looks like an ocean snake, and he decides to throw it back. But little does he know, swing, the back technique. It's a bad technique, and he kongies it to some kamaikis playing in the water. Oh, nah.
Got it.
Shout outs to whoever taught this guy how to do discus. No. He just threw the snake at the kids playing in the water.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, so he sees the snake.
Yeah, and he picks it up and he's like, wait. I thought I'll get rid of it. And then he's just going, 1, 2, 3.
I'm scared, eh?
Check it out. You used to, bro. You used to pick which one's Fia Poko, bro. I don't know.
Oh, bro, that snake one, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to throw his best. I don't know. You can't you can't hate a guy for trying.
Yeah.
Hard, man. I think I'll go for the last one, the snake one, man, because that guy was fixated and focused on the snake, not where he was thrown. I think when you got a snake in your head, man, you're not looking anywhere else but the snake's head, So I think that's the problem. He was fixated on the snake's head, and then he ended up throwing it in the direction of those poor kids. So, man.
Shout out to little cows, man.
Stuff
Shout out
that.
to little cows with throwing the snake, man. If that's your uncle, just throw it like a man, bro. Suddenly. Doesn't want to get bitter and freeze into the kamaikis. Shout out Fia Poko of the week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Snake.
I don't know if you guys remember that game, but that French referee. So, bro. I watched this game on the replay. I didn't watch it live. But I remember the ref saying, "I ball time. Okay, we play. Cause don't do this. Don't do this. Time on." And this guy is taking the longest time to kick the ball out, right? And even in this play here, the ref goes, "Hold on," and then he kicks the ball anyway. So clearly, Foley's not even listening to the ref. That is a memory lane for all the rugby enthusiasts out there. He tells him, he calls the time here. He goes, "Don't muck around." He calls time back on. Because he knows what he's doing, right? So when the lima goes back up, and look at the usos at the back of him. Sully, kick it out, Us. So like he's playing around. Sully, I can't kick it out, mate. Kick it out, mate. And then he blows it, and he goes, scrum, penalty, free kick. Now, let's be honest, boys. Let's be honest. What he says to him after the game is probably the most professional thing you can say as a ref. Because at the end of the day, he made a decision, and he stood by his actions. And the reply from the player was, "You just cost us our rugby championship." Now, I'm no lawyer or rocket scientist, bro, but I can tell you this much. When the ref says, "Hey, stop milking it," what do? Kick it out, man. Just kick the friggin' ball out. I'm going to check it back at you guys, man. Do you have any games as a kid where the ref might have said something like that? Did some Fia Poko in their team try to do those ones? And did a Foley? Because that's what he's doing. He's doing a Foley, man. I'll go at you, Eddie, first, because he's just smiling. Did I just trigger
There's heaps of memory lanes for this. So like one time we were like, I think we were like at the 30-meter mark, and we knocked the ball on or something like that, and the refs like try to explain, look, you guys knocked it on first and everything, and then one of our locks was just mouthing off, and then the ref marched us 10 meters back, and he was still mouthing off, and I think he said like, "Oh man, this is rigged, bro," and then another 10, and we were like, "Hey," so we lost 20 meters. I was like, bro, come on, and everyone just looked at me like, "Bro, what are you doing?" But yeah, nah. I think in situations like you gotta, like, the ref is the law, bro. Especially in like in first 15 or club rugby. There's no videos out there. You can't review it. There's no captain's challenge. Like, what he says is the law. So, you just gotta bite the tongue. But man, like, I hated when refs were like, if the refs were against us, man, fuck, sucked.
Yeah, playing two games, Playing two games at the same time. You're playing against the ref and you're playing against the players,
Yeah.
Your opposition. That's what it comes down to. But if the ref makes the call, man, far out, man. All the Fia Poko, man. Sharks, just play the game. Play the game, get it done, man. Yeah, memory lane for sure, man. We've all had one of those guys there in the team. Yeah, he tries to make those individual calls and those individual taps and not pass it and just go greedy himself. So, yeah. Good call from the ref, I say, man. He's really been warned. How many more times do you want to get warned? You know that the ref he's going to blow his whistle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play against the ref, man. Just get the job done. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, bro. I have to be honest. As a kid, like at Watermelon Rugby Leagues club, I was always captain of our teams. But from the sideline, when I used to watch the seniors play, the Prems play, I used to sometimes listen to the banter from the sideline. Like, come on, ref. Like, he was offside. As a captain, when I used to play, I used to do it as well. But I was captain, so it was fine to do it, right? And when I got to Caston, I was still doing it. You know, and then we'll get penalized for it. And sometimes the person will go, shut up, Dick. I'm like, fucking shut. Like, if you're the captain, do it. But, bro, all I did was just get much that's back and that's it. The real Fia Poko way. I'm like, fuck it. And then it took our captain to go, bro, shut the front door, bro. You can't talk to the ref like that. Okay. Oh, my bad. Because all I used to hear was discipline. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Discipline. Okay. Didn't even do anything. But little did I know that, talking back to the ref, and all I was pointing out was like, bro, ref, that was head high. It was clearly head high. But the ref was like, I've got it. You know, I've got my own two eyes. So hearing that, I just laugh. I was like, that's an expensive thing to know when you reach rep rugby like that, because that's fucking your nation on your shoulders, right?
Solid facts.
Don't be a Foley, G. Don't be a Foley. Like you saw, he took the kick. The ref said, hold on. He still kicked it. So that shows a lot, right? So I think it's a thing that needs to be coached from grassroots. Like, as a Kamaiki, is there only one person talking to the ref, and that's your captain?
Yeah.
And all the stuff that we say on the sidelines, right? Because, you know, kids are like sponges, right? So as a kid, bro, I was only just doing what all the Kamalos on the side were doing, giving the ref shit, you know? So I thought I could be captain because I can give the ref shit, just like they do on the sideline. But little did I know, bro, it's like, that was an expensive lesson. And you hear what he said at the end, he pretty much cost us rugby championship. But little did he know, it's like, nah, at the end of the day, the ref's the guy with the power, you know?
Yeah.
So, nah, yeah, that's
He's
what
the
that triggered, bro.
whistleblower. He's the whistleblower.
Bro, absolutely, bro.
Yep.
It's the judge, the executioner, and the kua. Ngala. Ngale. Sure, boys.
Nice, boys.
You don't have a food review?
No.
Yeah, I got one food review.
Oh, is it a bakery?
Nah.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Yep.
Yeah, it's a takeaways, bro. But I don't know if you guys know this one because I don't know West that well. But it's out Palomino takeaways.
Yo,
You guys heard of that
is it
joint?
Shaolin? Not Shaolin?
No, it's just Palomino takeaways. That's what it's
yeah.
called. It's next to Palomino Cafe up in Palomino Road at the top, just off Stooges Road, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Went with one of my workmates. Shout out to my workmate too. He shouted us a burger. I didn't really want one because I was trying to fast, but so I said, "Oh, here, what sort of burger?" I said, "Oh, I'll just make a steak and egg." Man, I'll give this burger honestly, man, probably about a good 8.
Ooh.
8. The reason being, man, because the portion of that steak and egg burger, I thought it was just gonna be like a dud, like every other burger around the takeout scene. But this one here, man, these singers, man, just the portions of steak that they put in there, man, was really generous, as well as the tomatoes, onions, lettuce, nice and fresh. On top of that, the egg, half cooked sunny side up, and an extra beef patty. And that steak and egg burger. And I was like, shit, that's not a steak and egg burger, man. That's a flipping double whopper or some shit like that. But man, the steak itself, tender, it was just overflowing. Just the juices perfectly cooked there. They most definitely, now I know why everybody says that's one of the best takeaways out west. Got to try it, steak and egg burger. The fish as well, man. Damn, it was what's the fish? It was $4 for fish, but it was like half a foot long, bro. As there was a lot of meat in there, man. It wasn't just all batter. So I'll give it up. Shout out to the singers there at Palomino Takeaways. I heard about it before, just from the locals and that. They said, "Oh, that's the best one out there, bro. Try it, eh? It's true." Even the bakery next door, they're saying is
that
5
bakery's
stars.
Yeah, that
fire,
bakery's
bro.
pretty good. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
bakery's fire, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a big queue there.
The steak and cheese. I think steak and cheese, mince cheese and potato top are fire from their bakery. But no, the takeaway is solid. I think I want to get it on my day off, mate.
Steak and egg burger, man. Steak and egg burger. Yeah, one of the best burgers. Fish burgers as well. Very generous, man. Especially that steak. So shit, that was a protein hit. Thank you very much. But yeah, those next door bakery, they're Thailand's, They're from Thailand, right? Yeah, so yeah, they're always a big queue out there. So big outs to Palomino, man. Just that block itself. Shout outs. That's my food review. So good, nice 8 out of 10 for that steak. Yeah, buddy.
Nice. Sweet as, man. Well, we're wrapping up this episode, man. So we're heading to our last words. Start off with you, Eddie.
Before I say my last words, I just want to mention that time is never kind to our loved ones. So I dedicate this to my uso, his mum suffering from ALS. She's a lovely lady. I remember when she used to come into my shop to get her meat and stuff. She's always kind, always asks about my family and my sister and whatnot. So I remember this also from primary school when his mum used to drop him off, because we're just a year older than him. And I remember his mum she was always nice to come and drop him off, slowly sneak away, and leave him in the classroom with us. And I saw a post, one of those post up with his mum suffering from ALS. So happy, like I had to put my phone down and kind of just sit in the corner, because it just kind of reminds me of like our loved ones. They're not gonna be here forever. You know what I mean? And we just gotta spend as much time as we can with them. So my last words is just to spend time with your elders and just show them as much love. We're limited time on this earth. But yeah, Seki.
Yeah. Last words for me. Same thing. Just much love to my parents, my dad that just passed away as well last year. So missing you, Dad. I know you're in comfort in the kingdom of heaven, and big loves to my mom. Yeah, don't worry, we got you. Your grandkids got you. So much love and blessings to mom as well. Just be safe out there in the community. Be kind, and if anybody needs a hand, just don't be judgmental, I guess. Just be helpful. You don't know what people's going through. Much love to our communities. Don't forget to share, this our podcast as well, so the message gets reached out to far and beyond to our communities. That's the main thing. I did have a quote, but I've forgotten the quote. But anyway, when it comes down to loyalty, right? Loyalty is supposed to have more currency than money. But these days now, money can corrupt loyalty, right? Money can have more currency than loyalty if it's negotiable. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, man, follow your heart and do what's right for you. But yeah, Jesus leads and we shall follow. Amen. Much love to your viewers.
Amen. Condolences, Jesus. Yo.
Thank you.
My hostels. I just wanted to share 3 years ago now, during this time of the year, two of my first cousins passed away a week apart from each other. One of them was one of South Auckland's unsung heroes, Rob Filippo, and he was really known to the YJ community, to a lot of guys who did their youth juvie out in Manarewa. And you float Rob's name around. Everyone knows him as that guy, the silent assassin. It's quite humbling when I go to places and people know who he is and they know who I am to Rob. So and then the week before that, my cousin Richard passed away, and it was a lot to take on at the time. But as time sort of passes, and like people say it gets easier, but I don't think it does. I've tried to find a ring to fit my finger. My wedding band no longer fits. But I gave one of my wedding bands to my cousin Rich when he passed away. One of my older brothers is not doing well at the moment, but I've tried reaching out to him. I guess I know in my heart that if he was to pass away in the next few years, that I know I've done my best to try reach out to him, And it sucks. It sucks because, we tend to put our walls up, and I know, we're both hard-headed, eh? And I guess, turning back the time, I wish I could be with both my cousins in their last moments. Like, there's a secret. I've got a photo of my cousin Rob, of him in his casket, and there were no photos to be taken. And I've always kept it in my stash of photos, and I've only shown maybe one person. I got to spend my last moments with my cousin Rich via the telephone, and there's always a song that plays, which is why I was so honoured to give him my wedding band. I guess my message is time's of the essence, and we're not promised anything in this life. And at the same time, we're not, we can't put expectations on people. As I've gotten older, I've known that much. Like, you can't put an expectation. You can't expect everyone. Just like how you say that your loyalty can be, is cheapened by the dollar.
Mm.
But in a nutshell, I guess you got to do yourself and you got to do your ainga first, I mean, everyone has their reasons for what they go through and how it how life unfolds for themselves. But yeah, just the Easter for me now is just a reminder of my two cousins who weren't even over the age of 50 and they'd passed on, But yeah, my heart and condolences always to those who have lost loved ones, man. I know what it's like to live this earth without your parents, and just to lose two of my closest cousins too, man, was like a double-edged sword. But I'm glad that I've got the opportunity to sort of raise my youngest son with two Makai names. Like, man, these two guys in our family are, and I always remind my boy who he's named after, so. Now, yeah, those are my last words, man. Times are the essence, man. Make it count, if anything, man. Just, don't ever regret, living the way you've lived, So, yeah, you know what it is. Killer late in the
Nice, who's got a big heart.
Oh, now, thanks for joining us on for the episode, boys. I know a lot of the listeners will be wondering where Van Dam Kaiser's been. It's good to see Shaggy back on the screen again, and good to always sit in with the butcher. Yeah,
Thanks,
it is getting closer to, I think, 38 episodes. So, man, we've got to have the big celebrations for the 40th.
Let's go.
I'm sure there's Whako Moors and there's Pakua Moors are really cams. Hopefully the usos is having some quality time with the ainga. But yeah, man, everyone who's listening in, you can also find us on Spotify. Tune in to Empty Out the Clip and the rest of the WesWes Network's episode and pods out there. Shout out to the boys on the 135 Footy show, putting in the work week in, week out, and also to the rugby, our counter podcast. So yep, that's us for another episode of Empty Out the Clip. You know what it is. Let's get the fuck out of here. Shout out.
Amen.